Good morning, students. Welcome you all in this online lectures for physics subject. Today we are going to study the chapter number 4 called laws of motion. In up to previous lectures, three lectures, we have studied that the conservative and non-conservative force, types of forces, and all laws of motion and their importance. In this lecture, we are going to study work done by a variable force, work energy theorem, principle of conservation of linear momentum, and free body diagrams. Among these four topics, these last three topics, that is 4.6, 4.7 and 4.8, work energy theorem, principle of conservation of linear momentum, and free body diagrams, these topics for this year only are not for your evaluative purpose. Means based on these topics the question will not be asked in your 11th standard exams. But as these topics have a great importance, we are required this theory or concepts of these topics in further study. That's why we are also going to study the same topic. Now, first is what? Work done by a variable force. As we heard a word, work done, in front of us a famous formula for, or popular formula for work done is in front of us. And what is that formula? Yes, work done is a scalar product of force and displacement. That is, work done is a scalar quantity and it is a dot product of force and displacement. So in magnitude form we can write it as what? Fs cos theta, where theta is the angle between the applied force and displacement s. But this formula is applicable only if both the force and displacements are constant and finite. But in day-to-day life situations, we face with certain situations where force is not constant. For example, while lifting an object through a several thousand kilometers, the gravitational force is not constant because g varies with the height, right? Another example is what? The viscous force like fluid resistance, air resistance depends upon what? The speed, and hence quite often this force is not constant with time. So in this type of examples we need a work done by a variable force. So to calculate the work done by variable force we use integration method. Now what is integration method? See, integral method to calculate the work done by a variable force. In integration method, first of all, we will plot a graph of force versus displacement, where force is the dependent variable on the position of displacement. So that's why force is plotted on y-axis and displacement is plotted on x-axis. As displacement varies, the force is also varying. That is shown by this graph. You can notice that when displacement is s1, the force is at point this. And as displacement varies, the force magnitude as well as direction both are going to vary. You can notice this by this curve. So if you have to calculate the work done for this variable force, now what we have to do? First, we have seen that what we have done, first step is what? We have plotted the graph of force versus corresponding displacement. Then in order to calculate the work done, now let us consider the total displacement from what? S1 to S2. So we use integral method. So for integration or for integral method, we must first divide the total area under this curve into a small infinitesimally small element segments. Let us example the ds, or that small segment ds. The force is practically considered to be a constant. That means it is not changing, so that the change cannot be recorded. For example, here in this figure, let us consider this P1 to P2 will be the two forces, and this P1 P2 dash will be what? Displacement. So if we consider this small infinitesimal segment ds, what we can consider that the force is practically considered to be a constant, means the change is very small, so that's why it is not considered. Now the shaded strip, that is area, small infinitesimal area is shown by the shaded strip in such one displacement. As for that small displacement ds, the force is constant. So during the formula, with the help of force, work done is equal to what? Force into displacement. we can calculate what dw is equal to f into ds. Why dw is there? Because during this small displacement ds, the work done is also considered to be a small. So that's why we written it as dw. Now let us consider this total area between S1 and S2 is splitted into such infinitesimally small displacement ds. So out of that infinitesimal displacement, we have calculated area work done for this small one displacement ds, that is nothing but what, dw is equal to f into ds. So if you want total area, means total work done, what we have to consider? We have to add these small work done over S1 to S2. So to add that small work done over S1 to S2, we use integration method, and here we write it as W work done, total work done is equal to what? Sum of all that small work done over S1 to S2, and the sum is here in the continuous form. That work done are in continuous, not in discrete. If that work done are small work done are in discrete form, we can write it as summation dw S1 to S2. But here the work done are continuous, that's why summation is not used. We used here integration sign. So integration of dw from S1 to S2. But what is dw? We notice the formula for small work done, that is what, f into ds. So work done is equal to integration f ds from S1 to S2. So with the help of this formula, we can easily calculate the work done by a variable force. Now see how we can solve various types of examples based on this formula. See, area under the curve what? Between S1 and S2 gives what? Work done. So simple thing is there, whenever the graph is plotted against y versus x, the area under the graph is nothing but what? Y into x. So here y is nothing but force, x is nothing but displacement. So if you multiply y by x, we get what? Force into displacement, and force into displacement is nothing but area. So that's why we stated one sentence that what? Area under the curve, when graph is plotted against force versus displacement, that area gives us the total work done during that displacement. Okay, now see, whatever the formula we have seen now, that formula is used, how to use to calculate the work done in such situation. In front of us one example is there. Variation of a force in a certain region is given by F is equal to 6x square minus 4x plus 8. It displaces an object from x1 to x2. X is equal to 1 meter to x is equal to 2 meter in this region. Calculate the work done. Calculate the amount of work done. Now to calculate the work done, let us see the given, what is given data in numerical. See, we have given a force is equal to what? 6x square minus 4x plus 8. Means x is a variable term, means as position varies, the magnitude of force will also go on varying. Means it is confirmed that here the force is varying with respect to displacement, and limits are given to us from which meter x is equal to 1 meter to x is equal to 2 meter, the force is varying, and we have to calculate the work done between these range, x is equal to 1 meter to x is equal to 2 meter. Now to calculate this type of questions, or to solve this type of questions, we need a formula that we have recently seen it. What is the formula for work done by a variable force? Right, work done is equal to integration of f dx. That previous type we have written at s1 to s2, but here x is given to us what? Integration from x1 to x2, where x1 is 1 meter, x2 is 2 meter. So now we will calculate it. See, substitute the value of the force. What is value of force? 6x square minus 4x plus 8 over dx, integration from x1 to x2. Now as you have studied in mathematics the basic integration, simple thing is what? We have to give this integration sign and dx to each term in the bracket, and 6, 4, 8, these are the what? Constants. So that's why we taken it outside the integration. So see here, 6 is constant, that's why it's outside the integration. Integration of x square dx from 1 to 2. Minus sign is there, so minus 4 as it is common as a constant. So we have written it what? Integration of x dx from 1 to 2. Again here 8 is a constant, so that's why it is taken outside the integration. Integration of dx from 1 to 2. As you all know that integration of x raised to n. What is formula for integration of x raised to n? Yes, you all know that, you have studied it. Many students will confused in the formula for x raised to n. They know that formula for derivative as well as for integration, and they are confused in that two formulas. If we ask derivative of x raised to n, it is n into x raised to n minus 1. And here we need the integration of x raised to n. So what is formula for integration of x raised to n? X raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1. So you see here, x square is what? So n value is 2. So we write it as x raised to 2 plus 1, that is t, upon 2 plus 1, that is 3. Minus 4 is constant as our side. X raised to 1 is there. So we write it as x raised to 1 plus 1, that is x square, upon 2 plus. See here, 8 is constant as it is. Integration of dx. Here it is 1, and anything raised to 0 is 1. So we assume that here x raised to 0 is there. So if it is x raised to 0, so again we use the formula for integration of x raised to n. So x raised to n means what? 0 plus 1 is 1 upon 1. So x raised to 1 upon 1. So we write it as 8x. Here we have to apply the limits also from 1 to 2. So here applying the limits. As this 3 is cancelled with this 6, 3 1 the 6, 3 1 the 3, 3 2 the 6. This 4 1 the 4, 4 2 1 the 2, 2 2 4. X cube is there. So upper limit is 2. So substitute the value of upper limit first. 2 cube. Always minus sign is there in between them. Minus lower limit is 1, 1 cube. Here also x square is there. So upper limit is 2. So 2 square minus 1 square plus upper limit 2 minus lower limit 1. If we calculate it, what we get? 16 joule will be the total work done. Means whenever we face situations like this, the force is varying with respect to displacement and some limits are given and we have to calculate the work done during that limits, we use integration method to calculate the work done. Okay. Work energy theorem. Whenever we hear the word work energy theorem, in front of us there are two quantities, work and energy. As we have all studied that work is nothing but what? Force into displacement. Unit of work is also joule, as well as energy. There are different types of energies are there, but energy's SI unit is also joule. Means if they have same unit, same dimensions, means in front of us one question arises, there will be some relationship between work and energy. So that relationship is established in mechanics by means of work energy theorem. What it states basically, see, its statement is it's too simple. Decrease in potential energy due to work done by the conservative force is entirely converted into kinetic energy and vice versa. For an object moving against a conservative force, its kinetic energy decreases by an amount equal to work done against the force. Or in simple words, we can simply write that what? Work done is nothing but what? Change in kinetic energy. Means in simple words, whatever the work done by the system or work done on the system can be equal to or is equal to change in kinetic energy during that work done. Simply, now we have to prove it. Consider an object of mass m moving with a velocity u experiences some constant opposing force F. If it is constant opposing force F, then it slows down that initial velocity u to final velocity v during such displacement is s. During that process, the displacement is s. So we all know that according to Newton's second law. What Newton's second law says? F is equal to ma. This is the final quantitative formula for Newton's second law. But in actual practice, Newton's second law states what? F is equal to or F is directly proportional to rate of change of linear momentum. Means dp by dt, and if we substitute p as mv, m is constant, dv by dt is nothing but a. So that's why we write it as F is equal to ma. So many students confuse in this statement also. They state that Newton's second law is nothing but F is equal to ma. This is the quantitative statement of Newton's second law. And actual statement of Newton's second law is what? F is equal to dp by dt. That is rate of change of linear momentum. Both are one and the same. Now, if you noticed, therefore A is equal to what? We can write acceleration of the object is nothing but force per unit mass. If it is force per unit mass, then with the help of second kinematical equation, we can write the relationship between initial velocity, final velocity, acceleration and displacement is written as what? V square minus u square is equal to 2as, where v is final velocity, u is initial velocity, acceleration is a and displacement is s. Here, as the force is opposing force, that's why final velocity will be less than that of the initial velocity, so that acceleration is taken to be what? A negative term. We written it as minus a. If you multiply it by both sides with m by 2, what happens? 1 half mv square minus 1 half mu square is equal to 1 half m into twice as, so that 2 will be cancelled with this 2. अगर यहाँ पे देखते हो आप लोग तो यहाँ पे आपको क्लियरली दिखाई दे रहा है this 2as, if you multiplied by m by 2, this denominator 2 is cancelled with this 2 and we get what? Ma into s. As we seen from here, f is equal to ma, so we write it as ma as f into s. Again, we all know that force into displacement is nothing but work done. So left hand side, see the left hand side of the equation. What is it? 1 half mv square minus 1 half mu square. So left hand side says that what? Decrease in kinetic energy, and right hand side is nothing but what? Force into displacement, that is work done by the force. So in simple words, we can say that work done is nothing but what? Change in kinetic energy. So we can write that work energy theorem in a simple words as what? Change in kinetic energy is equal to work done by a conservative force. Here is the important sentence is what? Work done by the conservative force. In previous lecture, you have studied that work done by conservative force. What is mean by conservative force? Where work done is independent of the path followed. So that's the thing. Now, see, here we are going to study the second case of work energy theorem. In this second case, accelerating conservative force along with a retarding non-conservative force. For example, when an object is dropped from certain height h, it falls through an air. When object is dropped from certain height h, it falls through an air, we notice that while coming down, its potential energy decreases, and whatever the change in potential energy or decrease in potential energy is nothing but amount of work done. So while coming down, this potential energy or whatever the amount of work done in this case is also not entirely converted into what? A kinetic energy, but some part of that work done or some part of change in potential energy is overcoming the air resistance, as this part appears as what? In some other forms such as heat, sound, etc. In this case, the work energy theorem can mathematically written it as what? Delta PE, that is decrease in potential energy or change in potential energy, is equal to delta KE, that is change in kinetic energy, plus work done due to air resistance. Here simply mathematically or in words we can write it as what? Decrease in potential energy. Here as object is moving from certain height h through air falling down, so whatever the potential energy initially is maximum, while it is going down, its potential energy will goes on decreasing. So we write it as what? Decrease in potential energy, gravitational potential energy, is equal to what? Increase in the kinetic energy plus work done against a non-conservative force. The magnitude of air resistance here is not constant but depends upon the what? Speed. Hence it can be written as by what? Work done by a variable force. Whatever the thing that we have seen in this lecture initially. If here air resistance is different at different instances, initially air resistance is more, as speed is less, or as air resistance varies as speed varies. That's why we say that force is not constant. So work done by the air resistance we calculate by means of what? Work done by a variable force, and we all know that work done by variable force is nothing but what? Integration of F ds. So work done against a variable. Law of conservation of linear momentum. According to Newton's second law of motion, as we all know that resultant force is equal to what? Rate of change of linear momentum. Mathematically, it can be written as F is equal to dp by dt. If net resultant force acting on the system is 0, means F is 0, we can say that dp by dt is also equal to 0. that is in the absence of external force of linear momentum of the particle or a body remains constant. Mathematically, you all have studied that rate of change of one variable, that is derivative of a function, is 0. Means what? That function must be a constant. So we can write it here. If f is 0, f is 0 means what? Net force or resultant force acting on the system is 0. Then dp by dt is 0, means a function whose derivative is 0. It indirectly says what? That function is constant. Law of momentum or law of conservation of linear momentum can also conclude what? The linear momentum of individual particles can change, but total linear momentum of the whole system will remain constant. Means that every particle will change its momentum during the motion. But as we consider the total momentum of the system, total momentum of the system or total linear momentum of the system will always remain constant. So with the help of this knowledge, we can state the conservation of linear momentum or principle of linear momentum as follows. What it says? The total linear momentum of an isolated system, total linear momentum of an isolated system is conserved during any interactions. During any interactions, total linear momentum of the isolated system is always conserved. What isolated system means? It says that in absence of any external force, means no net resultant force acting on the system is 0. We are going to see now some examples of conservation of linear momentum. There are many day-to-day life examples for law of conservation of linear momentum. We are seeing some few of examples here. First one is what? Recoil of gun. When a bullet is fired from a gun, the gun recoils. The bullet and gun moves exactly in opposite direction. It recoil means it will also move back in the backward direction. So if a stationary gun fires a bullet horizontally, the total momentum of the gun and the bullet is 0 before and after the firing. Let us consider according to the conservation of linear momentum. m1v1 plus m2v2 is equal to 0. Here m1 is what? Mass of bullet, whereas m2 we considered it as a mass of a gun, where v1 is what? Velocity of bullet. Sometimes in MCQ exams or in velocity of bullet is also called as what? Muzzle velocity, whereas v2, that is velocity of gun, as it reverses in the opposite direction, so we call it as a what? Recoil velocity. As m1v1 plus m2v2 means momentum of the bullet plus momentum of the gun is always equal to 0. That is, we say that the total momentum or linear momentum of the system is always conserved or constant. Here m2v2, that is momentum of the gun, can be written as what? Minus m1v1 means equal and opposite to the momentum of the bullet. So if someone wants to find out the recoil velocity of the gun, we can state that this m2 will be multiplied here. If it goes on other side, it will get divided. So minus of m1 upon m2 into v1. Here negative sign says that the gun moves in the opposite direction as that of the bullet. As bullet is moves forward, gun moves in the opposite direction, that is in the reverse direction or backward direction. Some other examples of conservation of linear momentum are what? You notice that while you are boating in a river, you notice that when a person jumping from a boat, you notice that boat moves in the backward direction, or while we are entering in the boat will move in the forward direction. This is again an example of conservation of linear momentum. Second one is what? Motion of a rocket. As rocket moves in the upward direction, the explosives or that fuel is ejected in downward direction, and as momentum of the fuel consumption is also equal to and opposite to that of the what? Motion of the rocket. Explosion of bomb. These are what? And examples of conservation of here free body diagram, that is FBD. FBD refers to a forces acting on only one body at a time and its acceleration. When number of forces acts on one body, the resultant force on it produces acceleration in its direction. So to consider or study the concept of free body diagrams, let us consider a simple example where an object of mass m is suspended vertically by means of a string of negligible mass from a rigid support as shown in figure. See, this is the figure where object of mass m, whose block of mass m is suspended by means of string T towards the rigid support. Then the forces acting on the block are the two forces acting on the block. First one is what? Tension in the string, that is T, is equal to mg, which acts towards the rigid support, that is in the upward direction, whereas weight of the block mg will be acting in the vertically downward direction. So if the system is at rest, we can write it as what? Equation of free body diagram, or what mathematical equation we can write? If the whole system is at rest, means there is no acceleration, we can write as what? T is equal to mg, means tension in the string is balanced by weight of the block, that is mg. Now see, and another famous example in which what? If the system is pulled upward with an acceleration a, the same example we have studied previously, the same example is there. String of negligible mass attached to a block of mass m. If the system is now we pulled it upward in the upward direction with some acceleration a, then tension in the string is nothing but what? T is equal to m into g plus a. This equation, how this equation comes? If you observe carefully, the system, there are three forces now. What is the first force? Tension in the string, that is towards the rigid support. This is the tension in the string, that is towards the rigid support. Second one is what? Weight of the block mg, which acts vertically downward. And third is the what? Net force on the system is acting in the upward direction as system is moved in the upward direction with an acceleration a. So we can write FBD equation as what? T is equal to m into g plus a. Why g plus a? Because system is moved in the direction vertically upward. Now same example we considered. If the system is moving vertically downward with an acceleration a, then the tension in the string can be written as what? T is equal to m into g minus a. Why m into g minus a? Because system is now moving vertically downward with acceleration a, means in the direction of the weight. So net tension is reduced, and we can write as T is equal to m into g minus a. Now if you understood these three concepts, we are going to study. See, in previous three cases what we have studied, the string is of negligible mass. Now in the fourth case, what we are going to study here, the block of mass m attached to the string of also has mass small m. Here the string has mass small m, then the tension in the string at the upper end is what? We are going to see again the three possible cases. See the first case, T is equal to capital M plus small m into g. This FBD equation refers what? If the system is at rest. System is at rest means what? Block of mass m attached to the string of mass small m, and the whole system is at rest. It means what? Tension in the string is now capital M plus small m into g, as there is no net acceleration, so no plus a or minus a term will be there. Now in the second case, what we have seen, block of mass m attached to a string of mass small m, and the whole system is now moves in the vertically upward direction with an acceleration a. Then FBD equation of that system can be written it as T is equal to capital M plus small m into g plus a. Why g plus a is there? Because system is moving in vertically upward direction, so net acceleration is nothing but what? G plus a. Now see the third case. If the system is moving down with an acceleration a, tension in the string in the upward direction or in the upper end can also be written as what? T is equal to capital M plus small m into g minus a, as the net acceleration is reduced because the system is moving in the vertically downward direction. With the help of these three cases, we can solve an examples based on string block system. This is one simplest example of string block system. There are various another examples of free body diagrams. While solving exercise, we are going to study it in detail. So while we solving exercise different numericals, there are again various examples of free body diagrams that we are going to study in the next lecture. So thank